We've all had a hug. We're all feeling a lot better. You and Ren and Benedict Spence are with us again. Hello, guys. Where should we start this hour?
So we're starting with the Royal Opera House, thinking about changing some of the classic operas that it puts on in the wake of the Me Too movement. The idea behind this is to make opera more inclusive and more appealing to people who might otherwise be put off by what they consider sexist attitudes and scenes that have been long-standing parts of traditional opera, everything from William Tell onwards. They want to get rid of scenes that involve women being mutilated, raped or carried off. On the one hand, I actually tend to think that this is, opera is a product like anything else. If you want to go and see a performance, then you have to appeal to the punters. And if that's what's going to get people through the door, then I think that's entirely up to them to do. I don't think that operas or plays or anything are necessarily sacred. If you can change them as times change to make them more relevant and more appealing, I think that's probably a positive thing. On the other hand, I do wonder whether or not this is slightly going a little bit too far, the idea of just getting rid of these things altogether, because I think from a historical context, it's important to remember the suffering of people, especially women, and that to just get rid of that and to airbrush it might hint a little bit at a sort of a fantasy almost, in the similar way that Disney stories, Disney films have got sort of that sort of fairy tale princess sort of happy ending thing. It might do a similar sort of thing to that. I don't think that people who go to the opera are necessarily shrinking violence. I think that most adults can withstand these things and understand that these things happen. I think it's important not to whitewash them from history. But I think if you're going to just tone it down a little bit or try to make it a little bit more contemporary, I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that.
OK, talk to me about what's happening at Cambridge.
So a few of the colleges at Cambridge University have become less meaty in what they offer for formal hall. For example, St John's College, which is one of the biggest colleges and probably one of the leaders in this, are capping essentially how much lamb, how much beef they're offering. And they're going for vegan options because that's what the Generation Z students want. So they're introducing tofu onto the menu and they're introducing kind of vegan options. And it looks like other colleges will be following suit. I guess it shows that, students are getting more of a say in their health, their diet choices, and also just the general trend towards veganism. And also, actually, in 2019, one of the biggest trends for food is apparently insect snacks.
Oh, you've gone too far now. You've gone too far.
Very nutritious. And I've seen it in Sainsbury's already. I've not myself tasted
insects in Sainsbury's?
Yeah, there's a snack.
Need to call pest
I
control.
saw it and I for a second.
Are you sure they were for sale?
They were definitely in a packet.
Something that unites us all is this dog, this abandoned dog. We've all seen the video. Have we got the video, Nicola, to look at? Yeah, let's have a look at the video first of all. So you've not seen it, have you? So have a look. So this guy, it makes my blood boil just looking at it. This is an RSPCA video. He goes to get the dog. See, he then tries to get back in the car. The dog's wagging his tail saying, "Oh, no, don't leave me here. Let me come with you." And he literally gets in the car. The dog cannot understand what's going on. He tries to get back in the car with him. The dog runs away slightly, and then he starts to speed off. And as he does that, the dog runs back to the car again, and he almost knocks him over. But there is quite a good end to this story, is there not, Benedict? As we continue to look at these pictures, because it infuriates me.
It's just really very upsetting. You think even if you can't take care of the dog, even if you don't have the capacity to look after it, there are better ways than just dumping it on the street. This is appalling. But as you said, there is a happy ending to the story. The RSPCA have been inundated with offers to take in this poor little dog. First and foremost among them, Andrew Neil, the host of This Week. Yeah, I know, it's just dreadful.
And he runs in front of we've stopped it now, but he
awful.
runs in front of the vehicle and he just waits and then drives off again.
But like I said, the broadcaster Andrew Neil has gone out on a limb to say that he'd be happy to take in the dog, and he's highlighted its plight. So I am fairly certain that this poor dog, having gone through a very bad scenario, will find a very loving, happy home, and it might have a knock-on effect for other dogs that find themselves in care as well. If a lot of people are now encouraged to get in contact with the RSPCA, well, there could be a happy ending for more than just this dog further down the line, which I think is quite important at Christmas time. Lots of people get puppies, they get pets, and they end up getting abandoned because they don't have the will to look after them. So it is sad, but some good may come of it.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of good homes for dogs, actually. So I think, maybe the appeal to
Well, he's got several hundred offers so far. We're actually
Yeah.
chatting to the RSPCA in the next hour, and they're going to be talking to us about looking after dogs.
But people
and how to-
shouldn't get dogs, you know, if this is sort of that kind of owner. I'm not sure
No.
why.
Talk to me quickly about booze on planes.
So
This great British
apparently
pastime of
it's
drinking in airports.
soaring. The number of people getting drunk and bad behaviour on planes ranges from very extreme brandishing knife to just kind of
Brandishing
rowdy
a knife?
behaviour. Yeah, Aberdeen
get this
Airport
security?
after he was refused
Oh,
travel.
Aberdeen Airport. Oh,
He said that, not us.
Happy New Year. folks.
So they're looking at enforcing kind of the pub time slots to aeroplanes. So at the moment it's drink 24-hour. Essentially, it's international zones, right? So they're looking at considering consultation on whether there should be a kind of time cap, as it were, so that people
I think
don't
anybody,
just keep drinking free alcohol.
I think anybody who's ever been through security at Manchester Airport will understand the need for a drink. But also, I'd be really interested to see what the figures are like here for Gatwick Airport between the sort of the days around the 20th up to the 25th.
they can't
Whether or not there was an increase in drinking, I don't know, but
They can't
that
get
would be
on planes,
interesting to
though.
see.
But,
There'll be
I mean,
much
what else
cel-
are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. There'll be much celebration if Manchester United get into the top 4.
There will be. I suspect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might be celebrating because reportedly the Express say is due a £2 million bonus if the interim manager gets them into the top 4. They're 8 points off at the moment. They won 5-1 in his first game in charge at the weekend against Cardiff. And I suspect somewhere in a Portuguese villa, a certain Jose Mourinho was looking on, perhaps frustratedly, as some of those players who hadn't been brilliant beforehand seemed to find another gear on Saturday. But he's got a lot of work to do, Solskjaer. He's got Huddersfield at home. He couldn't have picked 2 better first games than Cardiff and Huddersfield. But she said there was a long way back to the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal if he is to get them into the top 4.
Not going to get in the top 4.
It would
Not
be.
going to get in the
How
top 4.
time
This is the man.
That is what
Exactly.
Manchester
This is the man who was
United
part of a team who scored 2 goals in the last minute to win the Champions League final. So he will think.
Are we
okay,
having a
that
small
nothing is
wager?
impossible. No.
OK, just...
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I'm an interloper here. Do you come back again in the next hour?
Don't think so. We could do.
Oh, yeah, well, let's see.
You got anything
Who
else on?
knows? Well, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe another
Hanging
hug or
out.
something.
Unless
Yeah.
there is news that makes next
We
week.
haven't hugged.
Let's see. Quick look at the weather with
Practice that in a
Kirsty.